this is just getting embarrassing. I mean, you and I have talked over the years that ever since when Karl Rove and Dick Cheney back in 2004 welcomed in the insane far right into the party because they were going to lose. They needed foot soldiers to help them win that election, so they brought them on in. We saw the immediate effect of that in 2008 with Sarah Palin, a wildly unqualified individual, as the vice presidential candidate. And gradually nationwide, you have seen more and more of these loon bins getting into Congress. Now, you and I have talked about the House, but we need to start talking about the wildly unqualified individuals who are getting into the U.S. Senate. I mean,
You're talking about Mark Wayne, Jim Bob, Billy Bob Thornton, Jimmy Johns, whatever his last name is.
Yeah, apparently he starts spitting into his hands and making fists in a Senate hearing.
Mark Wayne. He's a tough guy, that Mark Wayne. He even can take pictures showing biceps with like 47 guns. I mean, I don't mean to cut you off, but the stereotype that man is of like the classic weak, flaccid, pathetic Republican who thinks that they are tough because they surround themselves with guns and use tough talk. I mean, it doesn't get any better than him. The thing is there's the fun part of it, which is how do you not make fun of these clowns? And how does anybody, and I know how, I mean, it's again, the distribution system out there. It's Fox News, it's local talk radio, it's the internet, it's whatever, where these people their minds are just turned to mush. And even if they don't like Republicans, what Republicans are very good at convincing people of are, well, you may not like us and we may be horrible, but they're even worse.
Yep.
So they somehow keep themselves in power. Even, I don't believe 45 or 47% really like Trump. I think it's the usual 1/3 you find in democratic republics who will support fascism. But I think there's another 13, 14, 15% that they keep around with those kinds of emails and that kind of garbage where they've convinced them all these lies about Joe Biden and his family. And that's what led to one of those fights with Jim Comer, because the clown from Kentucky there who wants to go after Biden for loaning money to his brother. And guess what? Comer lent money to his brother. Like there's nothing against the law about that anyhow, but they're trying to turn this into a scandal. And thankfully, Jared Moskowitz, I'm loving this new brand of younger Democrat who will not take their crap anymore, will not shut up when told, who are standing up for our values and realizing you need to be aggressive and progressive. And he just yelled back at him and said, yeah, then why don't we have you? So why don't we subpoena you? Why don't you sit in front of a committee, explain your various loans to your brother? And that's the thing is that I'll summarize it like this. You brought up 2004, but we've gone in various phases, starting with what I would call ground zero clown, which is Newt Gingrich in 1994. Yes. And we've gone in phases. You brought up 2004 when they invited them in around the anti-marriage amendments, 2008 with Palin, the Tea Party in 2010, and we can go on and on and on. But the end result of all of this is that you now have a parties, and like anything, companies, any group is defined by their culture. And the culture of the Republican Party now is one of violence, is one of threats, and it is one of absolutely positively not believing in democracy. They do not believe in the will of the people. They do not believe in our founding document. They do not believe in the democratic political culture of this country. They don't believe who gets the most votes wins. They believe in none of that. And that's been a 25-year process, that's been happening. You're pointing at me. I don't know if you're pointing at me because I'm just pointing.
If you're watching the show, it's radio for your eyes. It is we stream the show up on the social media pages. Cliff is kind enough to join us on video today, which is just incredibly cool. I appreciate that.
From now on, if you'll let me, I like this video thing.
Let's do it by all means. Okay, you and I. Let's just take this quickly. Johnny Bowflex there from Oklahoma. He thinks he's going to take down a Teamster. Okay.
Yeah, okay. I'd like to see that guy. Oh my God, that Teamster! I'm scared of that guy looking at him. That'd be fun.
He would break him over his knee. Yes. I mean, it's just you can look at Senator Mullen. You look at guys, and I can say this because I was in the military. You can look at a guy and tell when it comes to the fists start to fly. That's the guy that's wetting themselves in the corner, and that's Senator Mullen, and that really is the truth. He's a tough guy.
He's the one hiding, yeah.
He knew he was never going to go down there. He knew it was all theatrics. He knew it. I give Bernie Sanders a lot of credit because
I
he
do too. Bernie, look at
credit.
Bernie playing the peacemaker. Nice. Well, I guess that should be Bernie's role in a way, concerning his background. But certainly Bernie can get a little vociferous himself with the hands on the. And he was like, "Hey, sit down," and actually the dude sat down. So that's how tough Mark Wayne, Billy Bob Thornton is that like when Bernie Sanders told him to sit down, a guy who's like 80, he was like, in gray and disheveled. He's like, I'm sitting down right away.
Yeah.
But you're right. That's all I think he clearly has a temperament problem. He's clearly not that intelligent. He certainly shouldn't be in the U.S. Senate, but that goes for so many people. And I think in the end, he stood up out of his temper, but clearly he wasn't going to go anywhere. I mean, he was going to stand up and try to huff and puff and look like a tough guy, but nothing was going to happen. And that, I think the key there is just that these guys, these insecure, wimpy, weak guys who make up the Republican Party, they're used to bullying and they're used to people backing down. And the thing they cannot fathom and can't stand is this guy in the Teamsters. This started before today. I did a video on the back and forth between these two guys 3 or 6 months ago, or whatever, when he insulted this guy. I wish I knew the guy's name in the Teamsters. I should. He insulted him, and he didn't do what some of these witnesses do, which is just sit there and take it. He responded and insulted him back. And Mark Wayne there just cannot stand it. He can't stand it. He doesn't just get to call people names and not get a response. So the guy responded on social media too and whatever. And now he's all big mad because his insecurities are showing.
If you are not following the Blue Amp YouTube channel, you are just plain wrong. Cliff Schechter is kind enough to join us today to talk about the WWE that the Congress that has become lately. Cliff, once again, at YouTube/C Schechter. It's the Blue Amp channel. If you're not subscribed, you're just plain wrong. Cliff, thank you very much. I appreciate the time.